Hey guys, it's keyboard time. I do like a good keyboard. This is the An Pro 2. This is a 60% dual mode mechanical keyboard with RGB lights. Now 60% refers to the fact that this is not a full size keyboard. You get about 60% of the keys. So you can see there is no number pad. Dual mode refers to the fact that you can connect this to your computer using a cable. I believe it comes with a Type-C cable. But you can connect to your computer via a wireless connection. You can connect via Bluetooth. So you've got the option of wired or wireless. And it does work with Android, with Mac, with iOS, with Windows, etc. Now, this was sent to me by Bangood. They sent it to me free of charge. And I really do appreciate the company sending it to me. It does help support the channel, but it will not influence my decision as to what I like and what I don't like. So yeah, I'll explain all that in this video. This is available on Banggood. UK wise, it's about £76.54 right now, but it does depend on the version that you get. The brown switch, for whatever reason, seems to be a little bit more expensive. That translates to around $92.69. You can see the funky white version I've got there with RGB lights. So $92.69 if you want to know the price in US dollars. But obviously, prices go up and down. Check the Banggood website to see the current price. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is showing you the box, doing an unboxing, showing you the keyboard. But then I'm going to spend a few days. I've got a few articles to write this week. I'll be writing several thousand words. And it will give me an opportunity to test the keyboard and find out what I do like and what I don't like. So without further ado, let's check out the An Pro 2. So here is the An Pro 2, a 60% dual mode mechanical keyboard. And on the back, we've got a list of some of its features. We've got a magic function key, which allows you to change the caps lock to a function. Double function keys for quick access to media player, web browsing, customized functions. Tap key, full RGB backlight for the keys. Up to 64 offline macros, key macros. And there is a software control center. So this is the software I will need to install on my computer so that I can change how it all works, the colors, etc. But we're not here for that. We are here to see the keyboard itself. So in the box there, you can see there's a tool for getting the keys out. There's different colors keys that I can use here if I want to spice up the keyboard. And there is a Type A to Type C cable, and cable looks quite good actually. It looks like it's I would say 1.5 meters, 2 meters. That it looks like 2 meters. That I can compare that against my desk. It looks like 2 meters. So cable looks good. You've got the key tool and you've got the spare keys, but we want to see the keyboard itself. Let's see the keyboard, and we have a quick start guide as well. Here it is. I have got the black version, which is misleading because I thought I was getting the white version because of the box, but there it's there. Yeah, that's it there. It's very portable. That's the one thing I would say. Like, my first impression is that it's portable. Not sure if there's any battery here. I've just switched it on, but I don't think there's any battery yet. I'll need to charge that up. You've got the Type-C connection there. In the back, you've got the off and on switch, and there's An Pro branding 01. It's very light though. It's very light, and I'll weigh that for you just now. So the keyboard is weighing in at 640 grams, which is £1 6.6 ounces or 22.6 ounces. It does feel very light. And it is small. That's the first thing I would say about it. You do realise it's quite small. It's got really nice build quality to it though. And typing wise, it looks like it'll be a nice little keyboard. So I've been messing around with the An Pro 2 keyboard for about 2 hours now. Partly because I wanted to get a feel for the keys. Partly because I wanted to test the lighting, because I think the keyboard looks quite good like that. But it looks so much nicer when you get that beautiful RGB lighting on. So I've got a good understanding of all of that now. I've tested the software as well. But I also ran into some problems connecting to my computer. I didn't have any problem connecting via the cable, but via Bluetooth, this was just not discoverable via my PC. So I had to update the firmware. And then once that was upgraded, I restarted my PC and yeah, everything's good now. I'm all connected. So what I'd like to do at this point is just talk about the keyboard. I'd like to show you how you get started, how you get connected. I'd like to show you how you can adjust the brightness. I'd like to show you the software, and I'd just like to show you the keys as well, just show you the actual keyboard. So let's jump over to the overhead camera. And this is the keyboard, and it is in Bluetooth mode, which you can see there. And if I jump over to my monitor, you can see there, AN Pro 2 P1. So I'm connected up right now. Now, the reason I want to show you this is because of the part that says P1, because this keyboard can be assigned to 4 different devices, and you can see it there. Your laptop, your tablet, your PC, a Mac, Windows computer. You can connect to 4 different devices, and you just have to assign it using the function 2 key and one of these buttons, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So P1 on my computer refers to number 1. I have assigned it to number 1, but I could always connect to my phone via number 2, my laptop via number 3, etc. And then you simply switch them by pressing F2 and then pushing F1 and then switching between them. So that's quite good. It works really well. If you connect via the cable, and I really like the way that it connects via the cable because it's got this locking mechanism. So watch this. Yeah, that. Once that's connected, it's really, really secure. And I must admit, I do prefer the wireless look of this. I prefer not to have the cable running there, but if you choose to use this in wired mode, I think this cable looks quite nice. It's not an ugly cable. It's quite colourful. I think most people will be happy with that. But the thing I really like about this is just how secure it is. It locks in, and you really have to, kind of pull it out for it to come out. So if I jump back over there, you can see that it's got Oben's AN Pro 2. And that's because it's the wired connection. Now, the reason I'm pointing this out is because you need to connect via the wired connection. You need to connect via the cable in order to use the software. And when it's connected via the cable, you'll see this software. I'll show you this in a second. But I just want to quickly show you here is that once you've actually downloaded and installed the software, the first thing you should do, before you even connect via Bluetooth, the first thing you should do is update the firmware. So you update the firmware, and then you'll have the latest version. Before you do anything else, do that. If I click upgrade, that shouldn't be there because I already have the latest version, but you just click upgrade and you just, it'll download the files and you will be good to go. Now, if I pull this out like so, then I can't connect. So that's kind of one of the limitations of it, but do that first. Make sure you do that first before you connect via Bluetooth. Now, as I was saying, I'm connected here via a Bluetooth connection, a wireless connection. Oh, sorry, I've jumped ahead. That's the manual. The sales page shows you that it has a 1900 milliamp battery, and obviously that is applicable when you're in wireless mode. But bear in mind here that the marketing material doesn't tell you how much usage you will get. Now, in the software that I showed you there, it does show you the battery life and it does show you the running time, but it doesn't say, for example, if you use this 5 hours per day, you will get 2 months usage or six months usage. There's no information about that on the website. Now, I don't think that's a deal breaker because if you need to charge this up, you just put in the cable, you'll charge it for a while, you'll get a full charge and then you'll be good to go. It's not like my other keyboard here, my Logitech keyboard. This one has to have the physical battery, like a regular battery. That has to be replaced. This one can be recharged at any time. I don't think it's a problem. But at this point, I don't know exactly how much battery life I will get from this. So something I just can't comment on. And it's probably something I can't comment on for a few months of usage, really. But that's something to bear in mind there. Now, there is a website, AN Pro 2. That's just a website that sells the keyboard. It doesn't actually have anything there. What you need to do is go to this website, opens.net. And you'll see at the top, AN Pro 2. And once you click there, you click on software. And that is this page. This is the software I was showing you there. And this is available on Windows, on Linux, and on Mac. So you need to download this after you purchase this keyboard, download it to your computer, and then connect via a wired connection so that you can perform that firmware upgrade. Now, I believe everyone should refer to this quick guide here, which we'll show you in a second, but everyone should connect to this because it's very easy to follow. It's very, very simple. But you can see there is an online user manual, opens.net, AN Pro 2 /user-manual. So you can go to that, and that is the one that I kind of showed earlier there. That's got a more in-depth look at the keyboard. It's got a longer, more detailed explanation of how to use it. You might want to refer to that at one point if you're unsure about the installation process, about installing things or using the software. I think for most people, the quick start guide will be sufficient, but you've got that option too. Okay, I want to quickly talk about this quick start guide. As I said, you don't need the Bluetooth switch on if you're just going through a wired connection, but when you connect to your computer, what you do is you make sure that's switched on first, so it's wireless when you want to connect via Bluetooth. And then what you do is you click F2. I'll see if I can show you this at the same time. You click F2, which is that one, and then you click 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if I connect mine to 1, so I clicked F2 and then I held down 1, and after 5 seconds it was discoverable via my computer. And I can do that for my phone with 2, with my laptop with 3, etc. The process is straightforward. And as you can see in the quick start guide, once you're actually connected, it's just a quick F2, 1, F2, 2, 3, 4 to switch between different devices. Just make sure you update that firmware and you'll be good to go. On the back there, it shows you that the regular function keys that you will use F1. So if I show you the keyboard here from the bottom, I'll get this out of the way so it focuses. You've got AMP Pro 2, the branding on the spacebar, but you've got function 1 and function 2. Now, function 1, you've got 12 function keys there, and they can be used like any regular function keys. And you can see the writing there for the magic function. You can see it there. Sorry, wrong key. Magic function. Now, for regular function keys, you just use the FN1 there, or FN. But the function 2 is how you control the Bluetooth, but it's also how you control lighting. You can see it there, F9 to F12, that's all about lighting. So you've got your regular function keys, you've got the magic function key if you want to replace the caps lock, but I think the one that most of you will be looking at is the keyboard backlight. And you can see here, this one switches the save backlight effect, switches the effect, this one turns it on and off, and then the other two reduce and enhance the brightness. Now, essentially what it is 9, 0, minus, and plus. I think they've kind of got the first two keys back to front because it's F2 and 0 to turn it off and on. I think it should be the first key. I think that makes more sense to me, but there you go. So that turns it on and off and on, whatever way you look at it. But once it's switched on, just hold your finger on F2 and you can decrease the brightness. See it going down, and you can put it all the way up as well. Very quick to use, very user-friendly, very simple. Now the other thing here is that you can change the background effect. So look at this. It's changing through all the different color schemes. There's a lot of them there. Now I'll show you these in a second in the software, but you can see there's a lot of different options here. And it's just a matter of pressing that button and you can cycle through them. It's very quick and I've had no problems with it. I think it works really, really well. So what you need to do now, if you want to really delve deep into the keyboard and change things up and customize things, is to go back into the software. So we need to connect again. And I will say that that's one thing. It's a minor thing. It is a minor thing, but it is worth pointing out that other keyboards from Logitech and other companies, they allow you to connect to the software via a wireless connection. So this keyboard is connected to my computer wirelessly and via the cable just now, but it's connected via Bluetooth. So I don't see why I can't access that software without using this cable. I don't know. This is something I hope that they fix in a future software update. But at the moment, you need to connect via the cable. So over to my monitor, and you can see I just have to select my keyboard. I just want to quickly go through this whole software and just give you a better idea as to what it's all about. You can see there at the top, device model AMP Pro 2, 91% battery. Now, at the moment, this hasn't changed for me running time. I'm not sure if that's a bug or a limitation, but maybe I need to, I don't know. I don't know if I need to use it for a certain amount of time in order to see that, but it's only said 0 hours at this point. So it's got the layout. You can do a custom layout. There's the tap feature, lighting, macro. This is where you switch things on and off. And then at the bottom, you've got the firmware upgrade, and that's what you will need to do when you first get it. The left here, you can change the layout. So you've got QWERTY, you've got the Mac layout if you want to change the Alt key to a Mac key, and the Mac Alt command button. There's the Dvorak, and there's different options here that you can go through and you can change everything here. You can change the letters around. You can change it for different languages. You have complete control over everything. That's the great thing about this keyboard. You have complete control over your whole keyboard. I was going to say keypad because I scrolled down there, but you've got complete control over your whole keyboard, every single key. And that's a great selling point about it, no doubt about it. And it's one of the reasons why you would buy a mechanical keyboard. Now, the next stage, you've got lighting. Now, the different profiles here, red and yellow. When I am clicking through this, it's also changing it there. So if I click to green, it changes it to green. So whatever you change in the software, it will change to your keyboard automatically. But you can just cycle through using the function keys as well. So there's different options here, and you can change it so that different characters are different colors. You can change all of this here, change the colors up. I think my favorite so far is just the static RGB lights. I think that probably looks the best one out of the box. That's quite plain, I guess, in some respects, but I think that looks great. I think it looks really nice. But there's a lot of different options there. Breathing, where it flashes on and off and different things. Gradual breathing, rainbow, breathing trigger. But you can go through as much customization as you want, change every single key and change exactly how they react in different situations. So you can do that and you can save different profiles. There's a lot of options here. The other options here is for macros. You can set up to 64 macros, I believe, for all the keys. So that's good there. And you can assign it into folders as well. New folder, new macro. And then we've got audio visualization. So you can see there, keyboard lights react to audio playing via default sound device. So if I was listening to music or watching a film, the keys would change color depending on what was being played. So not a feature I really care about if I'm honest, but it is there. Then you've got device list, which is the initial screen, and you've got preferences. So you've got the default language, the default theme. I can change that to light if I want. Update, help, about. You can see it's Chinese, English, and Spanish. And we're now in a white color scheme. So overall, the software is very, very easy to use. I don't think anyone would have any problems with this. I think it's very straightforward. Now, what I'd like to show at this point is the keys. I'd like to just quickly show you the actual keys. Now, this is something I'm going to replace in a few days. But let's do it now. Let's do it now. What I'm going to do is open this. Okay, so there's lots of different keys here, and you know, it's kind of like Lego as far as, you know, there's some with 3, there's some with 2. So what I'm going to do is change over to the overhead camera, and you're going to use this device, but to be honest, you wouldn't really need to use this. These keys come off very easily. I mean, they're secure. The keys don't come off easily, but what you can do is like this to help you get these keys out. There you go. So if I take this off, and you know, you can still use the lighting. See it there? So there's the actual key. I've got a red switch, and I can replace that key now. So I think this one, should this work? Let's see if I can get this one. I'm not sure if this one's too big. Let's find out. Looks to be the same size. No, it's a little bit bigger. No, this one's bigger. So this one's bigger. That's not the right size for the space key. So I'll put this one back. And that's how easy it is to put it back in. I mean, it's just very, very easy. But what we can do is change the shift key. So there's the shift key off. I'm going to put in this big yellow one. And that's how easy it is to change the color of keys. Very, very simple. And if you want, you can go through and you can change all of the, you know, several of these keys with these little buttons. But the good thing about that is you can go out and you can buy your own. You can replace these keys. You can buy your own keys and replace them and just completely transform this keyboard if you want. That's the greatest thing about mechanical keyboards, is you can make this keyboard your own, and you can just completely change it, and you know, change the enter button like that, change the shift button, or change anything you want really. I think, you know, the downside to that is, I mean, you can see it right away is that obviously doesn't show the colors underneath, but there's a lot of different packs you can buy out there that allow you to buy different keys and then put them in and change it around and all that. So as far as changing the keys go, it's an absolute doddle. It's just the easiest thing ever. I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with that. So it's been a couple of days now since I unboxed the AM Pro 2 mechanical keyboard. I've wrote one article with it. I've replied to a ton of email messages and a ton of social media messages. I have been using it as my main keyboard. So I've got a better appreciation for how it works and what I like about it. And to go back to one of the first things I said about this keyboard, I think this looks great. I really do think this looks great. And I think that if you're looking for a nice keyboard, something that complements your desktop, something that looks good in your setup, I don't think you'll go wrong with the AM Pro 2. It just looks gorgeous. It just looks really, really nice. And you can see I've replaced some of the keys here. I've added in some of the colourful keys that they provide. I didn't want to go overboard with that where I've got colours all around it because I do like the fact that the RGB colours come through. But one thing I haven't really been able to test yet is battery life. The other day I had connected this up to maybe about 95% of battery life. But when I've been using this wireless, it doesn't seem to show much running time. So if I show you the software again, when you go in here, it's saying 85%. So I've used about 10% battery since the other day, and it's now saying running time 1 hour. 1 hour. Now, that to me does not seem accurate. Last night, for example, I had this in wireless mode and I was gaming with friends for about 5 hours, and I was using it sporadically, but the whole time it was switched on. And I was just typing in between games and writing some emails and things like that. Now, I think that running time is not counting everything. I think it's only counting the time that you're actually typing, I think. But it might be way off as well. But the reason that is only counting that is because it's got an auto sleep feature. Now, you can change that. If you go in here, you can see there's auto sleep and it's there, and it will, in wireless mode, the keyboard will go into sleep after 10 seconds. Now, the good thing is that even when this goes to sleep, you know, you'll notice the colors now go down. Even when it goes to sleep, as soon as you start typing, it will start typing. It's not like there's a lag when it wakes back up. But as far as the battery life goes, it seems to have went down 10% after, you know, 3 or 4 days of usage. So I'm not sure what the battery life will be. At this point, I'm guessing about a month using it every single day. But it will depend on your usage. For some people, it might be longer. But the good thing is as well, whenever you connect this up to your computer to check the software or change anything, it will charge it up as well. So battery life seems okay, I would say, especially because it's a rechargeable battery. You can recharge it up. So the biggest thing really about this is using it. Now, being from the UK, this is not a UK keyboard, but I've got the UK layout, so I've got pounds there instead of like the hash key and things like that. So that's something you have to get used to. If you're not going to get a local keyboard here. You've got the international keyboard, which, you know, tends to use, as you can see here, the dollar sign or things like that, which is not something you normally get. And here in the UK, you would get something with a pound sign. So that's something that if you're buying internationally, you might not get the keyboard you're used to in your local area, in your region. But that's something you can fix. You can replace the keys, and you can buy replacement red switch keys as well. You can go out and buy the keys for it if you want. There's a big market for that. That's not a major problem for me. I know it will be for some people. For me, it's not a major problem with, you know, the keys not 100% matching, because I've used foreign laptops before, international laptops that I bought in the US, and I've used international keyboards. So for me, it's not a major thing. I think the biggest thing really for me, and for a lot of people, will be going to a smaller keyboard. This is a 60% keyboard. So the older mechanical keyboard that I had, the one I was using here for a while, but I used downstairs for a long time as well. You can see here, this has got the number pad, it's got the arrow keys, you've got page up and down, and you've got all, you know, the function keys at the top. I guess you'd call that a 100% keyboard. And then you've got the Logitech keyboard, which it might not have the arrow keys, a separate area for the arrow keys, but it's like an 88% keyboard, 90% keyboard or something. And coming down to this, you do miss some of those keys. I do anyway. I've been using a number pad on this desk for years. I've got a lot of shortcuts that I use when video editing that I use with the number pad. So I've been forced to adjust to a smaller keypad. And for some of you, you might not want to make that adjustment, but it really is about adjusting. And the good thing about this keyboard is it does allow you to customize it. It does allow you to make customizations very easily. Now, you might be looking at this the same way that I looked at it and think, well, this is one keyboard. But really it's four, because you've got the default layout, you've got the function key layout, you've got the function 2 keyboard layout, and then you've got the tap layout. Now, if I connect this up again, I'll show you what I'm talking about. This has got a feature called tap, and I didn't really appreciate how good this is, because it allows you to just simply tap a key and you will get something different than when you're typing a key fully. And that opens up a lot of different options for you. And what I've done is I've added a delete key there and a print screen button there, which I could use with the function keys anyway, but I wanted shortcuts to it. And yeah, overall, the tap functionality, the function key functionality, it does allow you to get more from this keyboard. So I'll explain what I'm talking about. If I go back to the software here, and you can enable the tap thing there, that's what I was referring to, but this is my default layout, and this is the one that I'm using. Now, once you've made any change to it, you simply click download, and it will download it via the Type-C cable into your keyboard, and it will update the firmware. But you can see that you can click on any one of these keys, and you can replace it with any key that you want. What I've done is I've made the second control key, the one that I've got green now, I've made that delete, and I've made the pink key that I've got, I've changed the alt key to print screen, simply because I use those keys a lot. But you can see that in addition to the default layout, you've got function 1. So I can hold down the function 1 button and get print screen, home, end, page up, page down. These are all the keys that are missing from this 60% keyboard. And then you've got similar buttons for function 2. You've got arrow keys there again. And then you've got tap. And tap, you've got arrow keys. And that's the real thing I like about the tap thing, is that you can use it in a very simple way where you just make certain keys different when you hold it down and when you tap it. So to illustrate what I'm talking about, I'll switch to my overhead camera. So you can see I've been messing about with this to show you this functionality. This is another test. This is my third test. So right off the way, again, this is a small thing, but I love the sound from this keyboard. It just sounds amazing. But what I want to show you here is the tap functionality, So as you saw with that default layout there, you've got the, there, you can see that I've got arrow keys for tap, arrow keys. So that is, I'll go to the overhead camera. That is here. So if I set the cursor here, for example, you should be able to see that flashing. I can go up and go down. Just, you know, this is how you normally use arrow keys, left, up, like that. But see how that kind of held it in there. See if you get to here, I can delete that by holding this down, because I've made this a delete key. So like that, I can delete that. And then I can also hold that down for print screen as well. Now, again, it was like functioning one of these keys for print screen, but I've made this pink so that I can see it's print screen. I use it all the time. And that's what I like about this. There's so many customization options. You can change what each key does. You can change what it does, you know, using a function button, function 1, function 2, or simply tap. Obviously, you're not going to mess about with tapping here because that's where you're typing. But for the rest of it, this works really well in practice. I really didn't appreciate that at first, how good the tapping functionality is when you're typing, because you can just do that and then hold it in and it does something else. To me, that is amazing, and it's one of the coolest things about this customization. And in regards to customization, I showed you this earlier on in the video, but it is worth pointing out again. Let's take out the function key here. So, oh, popped it out there. So there is the red switch. And if I turn off this just now, maybe see it better. So there it's there, that's the red switch. And changing colors and changing the keys, it's just so easy. Like, that's it. That's how quick it is to change a key. That's it. It's not complicated. You don't have to worry about losing keys, or if your keyboard gets dirty, you can take the keys off, give it a clean. It works really, really well. And I can turn that back on. And the keys are great. You know, the switches work really, really well. And that's what I like about this customization. That's one of the greatest things about this. And then, look at that, it's back in. So that's probably the greatest thing about this keyboard. You are limited let's not go, let's not beat around the bush. If you're coming like me from a full-size keyboard or close to a full-size keyboard down to a 60% keyboard, you will need to change how you work. You're not going to have your number pad or maybe some other additional keys, function keys that you use. But once you start getting used to how these function keys work and you set up your keyboard the way you want it, you start to really appreciate how cool this keyboard is and how flexible it is. And that's one of the coolest things about it. Now, as far as typing goes, some people prefer chiclet style keyboards, and some people prefer these mechanical keyboards. They've got, a more clicky sound, and they've got, bigger, higher travel. These ones are really short. You just kind of tap them, and then, the keys are there. Now, I won't lie to you. I have been making a few mistakes so far. I have, but it is worth remembering, and you probably saw this when I did reviews of these two keyboards years ago. When I switched from my other keyboard to this keyboard, I was making some mistakes. When I switched from this one to that one, I was making some mistakes. And I think that's important to note. There's always a little bit of a testing period, I guess, where you have to try and familiarize yourself with the keyboard and how it works and how it feels. And the biggest thing is I've not been pressing the spacebar hard enough and all that. But another thing is, I've got quite lazy with this keyboard. Because this keyboard is a chiclet style keyboard, I can type quite far away and I don't make too many mistakes. For this keyboard, I kind of need to bring it in a little bit closer to me, because stretching it out, I'm missing some of the keys and I'm maybe not pressing the spacebar hard enough. So I've brought the keyboard closer to me and I don't seem to be making as many mistakes. And can I show you this here? WordPad. Okay. So if I show you it here, for example, and I'll move this up here. I've not prepared for this. It's a spur of the moment thing. This is another test. As Kevin. Oh, see, I'm making a mistake there. So I'm making a few mistakes. So you can see I was making a little mistake there. I am filming though. I've got a few things going on here, but yeah, that's a good example of it. Every now and then I'm just pushing the spacebar at the wrong time, or I'm not pressing it. And I'm getting used to it though. I mean, I've noticed that just in the last 2 days, I'm getting better and I'm not making as many mistakes. So I just want to summarize my thoughts on the AN Pro 2 mechanical keyboard. Is this the keyboard for you? Well, it depends on your situation. Firstly, I would say that mechanical keyboards are not for everyone. I know that firsthand. There's a lot of people that have looked at my keyboard reviews and they've just said, I don't like mechanical keyboards. But I like them. I like the sound of them. I like typing on them. I find it's a pleasant typing experience. But you do have to get used to it. If you've been using a laptop a lot and you've been used to a chiclet style keyboard like that one, there might be an adjustment period for about a week or so till you get used to how this works. But I think this looks great. I think it sounds great. And I think it's a pleasure to type on. And there are limitations with this keyboard. It says it right in the box. This is a 60% keyboard, so you are missing a lot of keys. But if you can change your layout and spend some time customizing the keyboard with the function buttons and with the tap functionality, I think you'll really start to appreciate how flexible this keyboard is. And yes, you are losing the number pad and all that, but you're gaining a smaller keyboard. It's a smaller footprint. I'm not taking up as much room in my desk. So overall, I just love the look of this. I love the flexibility with this. I think the software looks great as well. And I love the fact that I can change all these keys as well. I wish they actually provided more of these keys. That's the one thing I'd say. I actually would have loved to have seen more of these keys. But overall, I think this is a very flexible keyboard because you can assign it to 4 different devices. It's light. It looks great. The colors look great. And, you can do anything you want with it. And if you don't want to use this as your main keyboard, you might want to consider using this for your laptop setup downstairs, or even for your television or something like that. £6 or something it was for the UK, $92. For a lot of people, that might sound very expensive, but it is important to note that most mechanical keyboards like this are expensive. And I've seen a lot of kind of clones like this, keyboards that look very similar to this, and they are more expensive. So it seems like a very good price to me for this style of keyboard. Overall, I like it. I really do like it, and I'm going to keep using it as my main keyboard now. So I think this is, if you're looking for a portable mechanical keyboard that's flexible, that's got a lot of different color options and has the flexibility of changing the keys and what they do, then I don't think you can go far wrong with the AN Pro 2. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've covered most of the things that you wanted to see about this keyboard. I realise it's been a long video, but I try to do these videos for people who are thinking about buying it. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do leave a comment if you've got any questions about using this keyboard. But I'll leave a link to the official website and to the software page and all that. And I'll leave a link to Bangood, who very kindly sent me this keyboard. But from me and the AN Pro 2, it's time to say goodbye. Thanks for watching.